Hey guys, Kevin here. I've got another phone that I want to share with you guys. It's from Xiaomi. It's a new brand that they've got out. It's like a gaming brand, and it's called the Black Shark. Look at that. Might remind you of the Razer phone. It's just something with gaming. They love black and green neon. Now, this is an actual flagship phone. This is a flagship phone, a Snapdragon 845, 4000 mAh battery. It's a flagship phone, but it's actually very, very cheap. So this was only announced today, but I'll kind of click through and show you what it's all about. You can see there's an extra accessory here. It's for gaming. But you can see here, Snapdragon 845, 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage. There is a 6GB of RAM and 64GB version, which might appeal to you because in my eyes in 2018, that probably would be enough. But from a storage point of view, this doesn't have a micro SD slot, so if storage is important and you don't think you'll survive on 64, you'd have to opt for the more expensive version. So you can see it there. 5.99 inch phone, 18:9 aspect ratio. I mean, the design isn't going to appeal to everyone, but I would say, you know, to play devil's advocate, this looks quite sturdy. Doesn't look like it's going to break easily, and it looks quite grippy, which could be a good thing. So you can see it there, 845, 8GB, Adreno 630, which comes with all the Snapdragons, all the Snapdragon 845s, 4000 mAh battery with quick charge 3.0. And then you've got more gaming things here. And I think there's an image here that shows you the gamepad here. Yeah, so there's like the gamepad accessory thing that you can buy. Kind of makes it like a Switch or something like that. And it actually comes in two different colours there. Now, you know, right away off the back, a lot of people aren't going to like this design. They're really not going to like this design. It's something that's going to divide opinion. It's not as cool or as sexy as all the other phones out there. But this has the Snapdragon 845 in it, and that, you know, that's the same CPU in the Samsung S9 and the Huawei P20 Pro and all that. It is basically the flagship CPU, and the Adreno 630 goes along with it as the GPU for the flagship phones this year in the Android world, of course. So as far as the cameras go, you've got a 12 megapixel and 20 on the back, and the selfie camera 20 megapixel at the front. So the selfie front camera, secondary camera, whatever you want to call it. It's USB Type C. But it doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. So there's an article here from GSM Arena, and they talk about it here. And yeah, it kind of summarizes what I was saying there from the Chinese website. You know, 5.99 inch screen, 18:9 aspect ratio, Snapdragon 845. For optimal performance, Xiaomi equipped the phone with a multi-stage integrated liquid cooling system that brings the CPU temperature 8 degrees down. That sounds a lot like fancy marketing talk. Yeah. So it doesn't have a micro SD. It comes in two versions, 6GB RAM, 64GB storage, or 8GB RAM and 128GB storage. I think RAM-wise, 6GB is enough, but you know, you might be like 10 gig or so with the operating. You might be down to like 51GB usable storage with that version. But, you know, if you're storing things in the cloud anyway, that won't be a major issue. So it says here it's got one speaker, but the earpiece acts as a second one for a biso or biso stereo sound. Interesting. The mic of the phone is gaming orientated with the ability to provide simple usage of voice calls and radio chat during the gameplay. It's an X shape for better grip. That's the thing, you know, this design, it looks quite dated in many ways. You know, it's kind of big and bulky, but you know, in many ways from a durability point of view, that could be a good thing. It says that the gamepad thing, it has a 340 mAh battery of its own, and it can connect via Bluetooth, so that's quite interesting. So it's just this little part here. So yeah, there's about the camera, dual camera. You know, they're just taking the specs that I got from GSM Arena there. Now, here's the interesting thing. The phone is going to be available for pre-order on JD.com until April 20th, and then it will be available for purchase in either Polar Night Black or Sky Grey, which are the versions down the bottom of the page that I showed you there. So these are the funky colours you get. Funky black, funky green, funky silver, and funky green. Now, here's the important part. Price. It's saying that the 8GB RAM version, 128GB storage, €452, $557. But if you can handle 6GB of RAM, and I think everyone can, and if you can handle 64GB of storage, you know, that might be different for some people with photos or videos or music or whatever. But the cheaper version is €387, $477. And you can get the gamepad for like $23 or €23, $28. So, you know, like £20 or so. Now, for the benefit of others in the UK, that's the price of the cheaper version. And in the UK, that's £335. That's insanely cheap. That is like half the price of a Samsung S9 and less than half the price of a Samsung S9 Plus. You know, the Huawei P20 Pro that came out, it was like 700, 800, or I think it was even 850. You know, they did the offer with the headphones, but it's been actually available pay as you go for like 500 or so in the UK. But at £335, you know, even if you're not a huge fan of this kind of bulky design, you know, with a 4,000 milliamp battery, this is very, very appealing. I don't know about the cameras that yet. I've not seen any videos of the cameras in that yet. But again, as I was saying, you know, when I talked about this before with the Nokia 8 last year, and I said it was arguably one of the phones of the year, because you can look at the Nokia 8 and, you know, it's got a fantastic camera, really good, but it's not going to be as good as the Google Pixel 2 or the Samsung S8 at the time and all that. But those phones were much, much more expensive. In fact, there was a point where the Nokia phone was like less than 400. In fact, it's even less than that now. That Nokia phone's down to like 275. But there was a point when, you know, when the Google Pixel was nearly twice the price of it. Same CPU, same GPU, same RAM, same storage, and yet one phone was twice the price of the other. And yes, the Google Pixel 2 had better ratings for the camera, for videos and photos, but twice the price. So obviously, when I reserve judgment, I've not tested this yet, but for a 2018 flagship, wow, that's cheap. And Xiaomi is a legitimate, you know, it's a legitimately big brand. You know, it doesn't have the headphone jack. I'm not sure about the camera yet, but battery life should be okay at that. Comes with Android 8.0. Yeah. Value-wise, this looks like a very interesting phone. So I want to keep tabs on this and see what the reviews are like over the next week or so. So check it out, guys. I'll leave links to these pages and you can check them out yourself and let me know what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.